And we're on X, we're on Facebook, we're different places. Hopefully the numbers get a little bigger, but it doesn't matter, man, because we family. I try to tell people, man, here on this show, my goal is to be just as comfortable and relaxed talking to you as if we was just having a beer. That's my goal. So it's not to be Don Lemon or Joy Maddow, Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid or even Van Lathan or Van Jones. Let them do what they do. Now, my job, my only job, if I'm ever going to reach the pinnacle of what I'm trying to do, the best compliment someone could pay me was, you're just a brother talking, man. He just seemed like he was just a regular dude just talking, that's it. You know, sometimes I'll overdress, but not always. Tonight, throwing this little, I don't know what this is. Sparkly and not sparkly. Sheeny, I don't know. Kind of slippery shirt, I don't know what this is. The price was right. What can I tell you, Giles? The price is right. Meaning and not a lot. But you know what I'm saying, man? That's my goal, man. Just to be able to just be relaxed and say what's on my mind. I'm going to need that tonight, man. I'm going to need that big time because I got stuff to talk about tonight. That are kind of why I'm where I'm at. Got serious topics tonight, but you know we're going to take them seriously, but not too seriously. We don't need to pull up our ass to have a conversation, Johnson. Now, I am just talking. You know what I'm saying? It ain't against the law yet. You know what I mean? If you're new to the channel, let me let you know off the top. I cover U.S. politics, breaking news, and black culture. Not necessarily in that order. I am a Democratic Party hater. I do hate the Democratic Party. Though the Republicans are catching up. They catching up. They're like Carl Lewis, you know what I'm saying? Zakari, you know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. They doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Republicans are catching up on my hated list. But see, the reason why I got beef with the Democratic Party is because I can count. That's the first thing. I can count. It's not because they're better or worse than Republicans. It's that I can count. And when I count 90%, that's the number. The number for tonight is 90%. 90%, Johnson. I want you to understand that. 90% of the votes of the black community go to the Democratic Party. And that's a low election. 90% of black Americans vote Democrat. I got people that don't understand why that's a problem. But they belong to a group that only 60% of their votes go to the Democrats. Pretty even split. That would be Latinos. I think last election it flipped. I think 60% went to Trump. The whites, they go like 55, 45, 55 to Republicans, 45 to Democrats. Asians, I think it's roughly 60 to 40, 60, I don't know. 60% Democrat, 40% out. You know, Latinos, I already gave them. Native Americans, I'm not sure. But I think that it would still be like 70 to 30, something like that, right? I don't know. Okay, so that's how it breaks down. Did I do Asians? Yeah, I did Asians. Asians, blacks, whites, all the major food groups, right? So there's something different in those numbers. If you pay attention, you'll see that the black folks are over-indexing on one side of the aisle. And it would be different, Johnson, if we said, okay, if every election we showed up and it was like, okay, guys, what's on the table? And we sat there, you know, and said, okay, like on Shark Tank. Yeah, if it was like Shark Tank and black people just showed up and they were like, okay, like Damon, you know, just show up and be like, okay, Damon John, you know, be like, okay, Mark Cuban style. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Mr. Wonderful. And if the candidates showed up and they start pitching, and black America sat there like, okay. and ask questions like, okay, so what's in it for us? Why do we want this? Why do I want to buy what you're selling? And ask a couple tough questions, probing questions. How much money have you made so far? What's your distribution channels? Do you have any proprietary information? What makes this different? What is it that you've done with your product or with this service or whatever this is that's proprietary? Meaning somebody else just can't go set it up tomorrow after you come on the show and just do the exact same thing. What's different about you, baby? Talk to me. Okay, what's your numbers? What are your numbers? How much does it cost to produce? How much to distribute? How much to market? Yeah, it'd be different if that's how Black America rolled when it came to elections. There are some people that think foolishly that that's what it happens, but that's not what happens. Now we got like 6 or 7 black people in America who are known as gatekeepers. They're seen as thought leaders. They all work for the Democrats. All their money leads back to Democrats. People like Oprah. People like Tyler Perry. People like, former presidents, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. When you think black, what do you think? When you think black, what do you think? Samuel Jackson, I don't know. Monique, I don't know. Just anybody black, you think black, what do you think? And inevitably, when you think black, you start thinking about their politics. Where's the lead? What are they able to talk about? And what do they talk about whenever they're given a microphone? Taraji P. Henson. She had a little bit of an impact on this last election. And all these people, they have one thing in common. Every black person without any hesitation, without any differentiation, they all line up behind one party. And unfortunately, so do the majority of black Americans. And then don't get me wrong, what I'm saying is that's not necessarily bad, but it is horrible. It's not bad, it's horrible. It's horrific. It's catastrophic is what it is, because when you don't make people earn your vote, when they could just say, we got them in the book, I'll just put them down go ahead and put them down for 100 shares, then they don't have to do shit for you. No. So our first number is 90, and that's the amount of votes, 90%. 90% of the black vote goes right to the Democratic Party. It don't matter who runs. It don't matter. Whether it's Kamala that's running, or whether it's Obama, or whether it's Hillary, or whether it's Biden, or don't matter who it is. Okay? That's how it's going to be. It also almost doesn't matter, except for one guy. It doesn't matter who's running on the other side, whether it's Bush or Reagan or Trump or whoever it is. Same exact thing. McCain, whoever it is. Doesn't matter. Romney, doesn't matter. So it appears if you're somebody looking at media, somebody who's part of media, someone who's been covering it for about 15 years or so, you notice these patterns and you say, wow, why is it that black people only do one thing? The rest of the country. In fact, folks, when I look at the globe, when I look at other elections in other countries, I can't find a single country, a single group of people that vote like black Americans for one group specifically, solely, in 90%. I want you to name another country, a group of people in that country that do that. I can't find it. I can't find a 90% clip for any other group of people in any other country. So I say we have a problem. I say we have a problem. And that's what I want us to break out of. It's not that we vote Democrat. It's that the Democrats know you're going to vote Democrat. That's the problem. How do people, can somebody put this shit on a bumper sticker for me? Can all the people that have blackballed me, who have said horrible shit about me that you thought I'd never find out. All the people who call me Trumper, MAGA, any weird, anything, all the labels. Could everybody? Not, I don't expect those people because most of them are not in good faith. But the people that are not haters, people that are not vindictive because they thought, what's he doing with 200,000 subscribers? Or I don't like him. He never gave me, he never invited me on the show or whatever it was. Could you just listen to that one point? It's not that Black Americans vote for Democrats 90% of the time. That's the problem. The way it is a problem, it sounds crazy. It's fucking lunacy. It's insanity. No one else does it. But it's that the Democrats know you're going to vote 90% of the time for them. And when people know you're going to always be home, when do they show up? Whenever they fucking feel like it, Johnson, that's when they show up. When they know you ain't gonna go nowhere, you ain't gonna do nothing else, they ain't gotta work for it, they ain't gotta earn it. In fact, I can't even blame the Democrats really, not totally, because they have other groups that they want to court. So if they don't have to put any energy in you, they're gonna get you anyway, why would they expend any energy trying to get you? Why would they take time out? If you only have a certain amount of time, you only got a certain amount of money to spend. I mean, Kamala Harris had $2 billion. How much of that did she really spend with Black America? Not with Roland, not with Al Sharpton, not with Oprah. I'm talking about Black Americans. I got a feeling that most of her advertising revenue went right to white America. Because she already knew she had you. It would probably be what you call a dereliction of duty. It would be mishandling of resources for her to spend it on Black people when she already knew she's going to get 90% of the votes. And when she's got all of Black media in her pocket, when she's got all the Black influencers, most of them, 95% of Black influencers in her pocket, and anybody that wasn't in her pocket labeled misogynist. They hate their mother. They hate women. They hate Black women. They hate their mother. They if they're Black. They hate their kids. They hate themselves. Couldn't be they don't like prosecutors. Could never be it. Couldn't be. They wonder why you didn't lock up former Trump Secretary of Treasury that foreclosed on all those Black homes in LA. Could not be that. That couldn't be an issue because we're not smart enough to figure that out. Nah, all that thinking and shit, that's for white folks. Black people see color and go, that must be good people. And I get it, it's a survival mechanism. Because in a country that's been as hostile to Black America as America has been, as hostile as been in any group, I think it makes sense. I can't even totally be like, what is wrong? Like survival. It's like looking over I don't know, it's like being a rabbit and seeing a wolf. And thinking, okay, that wolf's got sharp teeth. Maybe I don't want to go over there. And then looking over and seeing another rabbit and going, well, maybe this rabbit won't eat me. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a shit analogy, but that's the best I could come up with off the top of my head. So all I'm saying is, these are the things about the Tim Black Show which people would understand. And it's the thing about our politics that I think needs to be said, and it's not said often. And if it is, I do want to say, I use the term sellout often. I use the term sellout a lot. And people use it. Some people use it on me. People use it. We throw that word around. I do want to say that for some people, man, one person's sellout may be someone else's survival. And I try to make room to understand that. Though I can't give you any grace on it. I understand that this entire system is shit. and it's set up a certain way. These people, most of these people, they show up. They didn't make it this way. They didn't make it so that we can't even have conversations about shit. They can't help it that there's a very loud, uninformed majority of people or brainwashed people who conform to a certain mindset that says we got to do this no matter what. And if we don't do this, we're crazy. Now, I want to remind everybody that there's a whole group of people that don't even vote. So I ain't talking about everybody. Almost half, 40% of black Americans don't vote. Maybe a little bit more than that. Okay? So, and that goes across the board. Only like 40% of white Americans don't vote. Something like that, okay? Maybe all 5 or 10%, but of the people that vote, white people vote the most. I think Latinos vote the least. We vote only second in number to as far as how many black people there are, percentage of black people voting for based on the group. So there it is. That's what it is. So people don't talk about that much, The fact, we got more Latinos, but we vote more than they do. Anyway, guys, this is where we're starting tonight, only because, I don't know, man, it's Friday. I want people to understand what's going on. I want you to kind of get my perspective and also shed a little light on it. So that's the problem. It's not the problem that you vote Democrat, even though there are people that would say, because I'm a Democratic Party hater, I feel like they manipulate black people into voting for them. That's what I feel like. I feel like they manipulate everyone, frankly. I think Republicans manipulate too. But when we've been voting for one party for 60 years, almost exclusively, and I look at the situation with black America, I gotta say, Johnson, I gotta hold that party accountable, because if you're just driving Ford and you keep having your car in the shop, well, you got to look at the cars. Maybe we need to stop buying Ford. It's not a crazy idea. It's not sellout. It's not cooning. It's nothing. How could that be? No other thing. And no other thing would that be considered crazy. Well, every time I hit myself in the head with a stick like this, it hurts. And people are like, well, you know what, Tim? Maybe you can stop hitting yourself in the face with a stick. Stop doing that. Oh, okay. How about pick up this feather? And look, I'm not saying voting for the Republicans is the only option. I'm not saying you should even do that, but I'm saying it's got to be considered an option. I got to say, voting Green Party has to be considered an option. I got to say, start a new party has to be considered an option, because what we've been doing ain't been working. Since haven't been working. Since 1950. Black Americans, back in 1950, black Americans 40% of black Americans own their own homes. About 70% of white Americans own their own homes. Last time they did a study was 2020. Guess what? About 40% of black Americans own their own homes. We haven't moved up in home ownership. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but that's the one. Everyone agrees that home ownership for working class people is the predictor of sustainability, stability, and overall quality of life. This is how regular people build wealth. Not everybody hits the lottery. Not everybody can dunk like LeBron. Most working class people, they buy a home. And in that home, it's how they finance their kids' education. It's how they pay for shit. It's how they go to Disney World. It's not magic. A lot of black people don't have rich uncles laying around, leaving them boats and 3 properties in the Carolinas. Over there in Corolla Beach or some shit. Most black people, it ain't rocket science. If the ones that have money are boomers, and the boomers bought homes. But if you're not moving up in home ownership, you're dead in America. Financially stagnant. Now, who am I supposed to hold accountable? Now that you know that, and you know that we've been voting Democrat all this time, how could you not look at them? They're the ones in power. They're the ones you've been giving their vote to. They're the ones you keep choosing every election. And we have that move. But you know what I noticed? I didn't know it was going to be this way. I didn't set out to make it this way. I just know the facts, like waking up and there being a blue sky above head. I didn't make the sky blue. I didn't make the water wet. Latino Americans who haven't really been coming to the country until a law was passed, the Authorization Act, back in 1970, they weren't here in large numbers. Look at the numbers of Latino Americans when it comes to home ownership. 50! Over 50%. See me to tell me a group of people that hasn't even been in the country, who haven't voted for the Democrats exclusively, don't vote in the numbers that we do. They have more home ownership. Asians, more home ownership. White people, more home ownership. More home ownership. So when you start figuring, when you start learning these things, if you don't get to the conclusion that I'm at, I'm wondering what's stopping you from getting to this conclusion. There's something else needs to be done besides what we've been automatically doing, which is listening to Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Roland Martin and just voting blue. It ain't even a question if you're going to vote blue. It's how much velocity are you going to have in your vote. It's how quickly are you going to vote for them. It's how much money you're going to give them. It's how much can you shame other people who don't vote for them. Yeah, it's gotten so bad that Black Americans that are influential, they have gone past making Black people vote Democrat. They made us shame and detach and hate family that doesn't vote Democrat. They weaponized us against our own people if any of us dissent for voting back. It's like a big-ass Ponzi scheme. It's like Amway. You know, people sell Amway, a friend of yours sell Amway, you're like, God, I don't know if I want to talk to this guy again. Every time I talk to him, he's on that Amway bullshit. I got a friend now that haven't talked to in 20 years. I'm afraid to talk to him. Last time I talked to him, he was trying to sell me on some Amway shit. I'm like, damn, should I talk to this guy? Bumped into him on Facebook. It's like, Tim Black, hit me up, man. Give me a call. Let's catch up. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Then I remember, damn it. That's the guy with the Amway shit. That's the Democratic Party. That's what they've done to Black people. And those Black people think they're doing a good thing for you, too. They think, I'm looking out for you, man. Can't hear you go to the dark side. They don't realize they are on the dark side. They don't realize they don't have a fucking party. They think they have a party. Smart white people know they don't have a party. Some do. I said smart ones. Working class Black people, working class white people. No working class people have a party. It's an illusion of a party because the laws, by and large, do not help working class people. Okay? The legislation, the initiatives, by and large, do not help working class people. That's either party. That's either party, by the way. That's either party. That's either party. Because if it did, guess what? Guess what? If they did, well, I would assume that if the legislation was really geared to helping Black people and working class Black people, we would have gone up in home ownership. Because once again, that's the best indicator of wealth. It's not just when we can keep on having the conversations about reparations, and I want us to, and I'm down for that, and I support that. But we ain't gonna talk about homes. We can talk about homes too. We can talk about this. You want to keep talking about wealth gaps? Yeah, let's keep having a conversation. And Black agendas, let's keep talking about that. But let's also talk about home ownership. And let's have Mitch McConnell. Not Mitch McConnell. Let's have Chuck Schumer. Let's have Nancy Pelosi. Let's have Jim Clyburn. Let's have Maxine Waters. Let's have all these people explain to us why we're stuck in around 40% for 60 years. What you're going to tell me now is because we don't want it? Because we don't work hard enough, huh? We're the only group of people that was considered lazy once we stop working for free. Only group of people. They didn't make the people that that didn't have to work as hard because they had us as slaves. No one called them lazy. But the people that, once we stopped working for free, then we became lazy. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. That's right. Anyway, look, guys, we got a lot to cover tonight. My entire show will not be this. But I like to get things going in the right direction, let people know exactly where they are. If they accidentally stumbled upon this page, they might be under the impression that they're somewhere else. And I want you to know where you are. You know? We got a lot to cover tonight. Stephen A. Fallout from Stephen A. Still ongoing. It gives us a prime opportunity, fam, to take a look at some things that are very, very much need to be remedied. We need to take a look at this the hard way. And I'm down for it. I'm for it, man. Look, guys, if you like the show tonight, don't just hit the like button. The algorithm's been kicking my back in. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this algorithm, going viral is good. I went viral twice over the last couple of weeks. But it's also bad because, I picked up some people that, it doesn't matter. You don't care. Let me just say this. If you like the show tonight, hit the like button. Don't just hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're subscribed, make sure you cut on all notifications. That's what you can do. And if you really like it, you say, wow, man, I didn't even know you was on the internet. If by some chance people shared this and I was able to reach new people, which I think is the primary problem, is that YouTube, for whatever reason, doesn't put this show in front of many new people unless I'm talking about white folks. I don't know what that is. And whatever, by that I mean Charlie Kirk. Tell me, what a spike you went through. That's only because I'm talking about Charlie Kirk. If I wasn't talking about him, it never would have grew like that. I mean, that's what it was. And the fact that I was critical of Charlie Kirk didn't help me with the people that, let's just say it's a price to pay for doing what you believe in his business. That's why a lot of people don't do what they believe. They do what's best for their pocket. So I hope that you do what's best for what you believe and not be like everybody else. Hit the like button and subscribe. Go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the show. And let's get it going, man. We gotta move. It's Friday night. People have decided that they were gonna watch this show, and I appreciate that. Yeah, man, that's not a regular thing. That's a big time on Friday, man. All these options out here. You ain't gotta be watching this show, so I appreciate you being here. If you could share it on your social media, that would be great. Maybe a couple people will find the show who didn't know it exists. Could happen. Let's go. Let's get cracking, fam. Y'all good? Oh, we good over here, fam. Checking in. Sherry Covington's in the building. Jesse's in the building. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Cheryl Cooper's in the house. Thank you, Cheryl. LeBron James, good one. I forgot LeBron. One of those gatekeepers, fam. You know what it is. All right. I'm pumped up about tonight, man. I'm excited not because I think it's gonna go viral or anything, but I'm excited, fam, because I get to put boot to ass. Putting boot to ass is important. Yeah, putting boot to ass is important. It's important to let the chips fall where they may. See, I'm the opposite. I'm the anti, falling liner. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I get to shatter misconceptions. Oh man, I get to be different. And not just to be different. That contrarian shit where people, they want to be different just so they get money. Like, nah, I think I'm gonna make less money. I will make less money by doing what I'm about to do tonight, but it's important that I do it. That's an opportunity. You don't know, man. I got like goosebumps right now. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You don't get goosebumps, fam, by doing some shit that somebody told you to do that you don't want to do. You don't get goosebumps. Like I got on the shoulders, I got the little thing going, like a little chills. Because I know this segment I'm about to do for you. You ain't gonna get this anywhere, just anywhere. They may kiss butt of certain people to get notoriety. They may have a big name person on their show, and that helped float them. But when it's all said and done, are you a thought leader? Do you look to see what other people are saying before you talk? Are you bold and courageous? Do you have something to say? You may speak with all the English vernacular and use the English language very well. Be very well spoken. But are you saying anything worth listening to?
What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
Tonight we shall say some things I believe that are worth listening to. Let's go, Johnson. Our first segment is Stephen A. Smith. Don't you move. It's the fallout that's continuing behind Stephen A. Smith. And fam, I got something to say. But first, the clips.
The Black Truth Report. The Black Truth Report.
With Tim Black.
That's me.
So y'all heard that from the horse's mouth. This is why Jasmine Crockett and nobody on the Democratic side can work with Donald Trump because he don't want to work with them. Every chance he gets, he downs the Democrats. He punches down every chance he gets.
Willie D had a lot of smoke for Stephen A. Smith when Stephen A. Smith called out Jasmine Crockett. So let me add a little context. Yeah, if you haven't heard, Stephen A. Smith said some things about Jasmine Crockett. He talked a lot about her performative, calling out Trump and being so abrasive and not working with Trump. And don't you got a district there in the 30th in Texas that you need to be fighting for? How are you fighting for them? Going at Trump the way you do, using every bit of verbiage to go after Donald Trump in the most asinine, most horrific, the most inconsiderate ways, the most, and he did all this. So he called it out. So there's a fallout. Willie D is responding to Stephen A. responding, and here we are. Willie D is explaining why. I guess he's responding. He did a 50-minute video explaining why he called out Stephen A. and why he supports Jasmine Crockett doing what she does when it comes to Trump.
Every chance he gets, he downs the Democrats. He punches down every chance he gets. This is why she can't work with him. And by the way, he also has the House and the Senate. You know that. I've heard you say it before. He has the House and the Senate. And then she has to have the votes. All I do is simply look at what the folks who follow Fox News watch, what they say, what they like. Watch who they praise, who they say they like. Heard that from the horse's mouth. This is why Jasmine Crockett and nobody on the Democratic side can work with Donald Trump because he don't want to work with them. You said it before. He has the House and the Senate. And then she has to have the votes. All I do is simply look at what the folks who follow Fox News watch, what they say, what they like. Watch who they praise, who they say they like. And that's how I know that person ain't for me. Because I know they're not for me. They don't like me. They don't like my kind. So it don't matter how much I try to assimilate. It doesn't matter how much I try to brown nose, kiss ass. It doesn't matter how smart I am. It doesn't matter, how law-abiding I am. It does not matter how involved in the community I am and how much I love my family and my children, and I bring them up to do the right thing and pull myself up by the bootstraps. None of that matters to them because they want to make America great again. And I'm still trying to figure out at what point in society was America great for Black folks?
Stephen A. Smith isn't a political analyst. Stephen A. Smith is a trained SEAL who's only good at two things: barking at Black personalities in the media and clapping for his handlers. And I'll give you three things about it. Thing number one, Stephen A. Smith and his forehead took to his podcast to criticize Jasmine Crockett for her work defending Black America against Donald Trump and his fascist administration.
Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself. I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Of it for my constituents.
This is the same coded critique that's been used against Black people, especially Black women, since forever. It's respectability politics wrapped in his ESPN theatrics. Stephen A. Smith is policing tone on behalf of people who can't stand seeing power in the hands of Black women. Thing number two, Stephen A. Smith has spent years perfecting this exact same brand.
The Black Truth Report. The Black Truth Report.
With Tim Black.
You be ruining. That's the new verb. When you're right on that edge. What you said about Jasmine Crockett, I don't agree with. Jasmine Crockett is qualified for what she does. She has earned her degrees. You don't have a degree in that. You're great at the sports. She don't try to correct you on how to talk about sports. And you're telling her how to talk to the president. How's she supposed to talk? She's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. She has more balls than most of these motherfuckers in the Democratic Party have. She speaks up for people's rights. She speaks up when she sees something wrong. She's calling it out the way Jasmine supposed to call it. That's the way she does it. I just don't like the way you're telling her how to talk. You know, her style is bad because she's right on point. She always has facts. She reads people. So what's the problem, Steve? Look at the way you talk about your sports. You gonna tell me that I'm not talking here. I know him. And he is horrible. It was abysmal. That's you, man. No one's telling you how to do that.
So yeah, I take it real personal. We are the only people that when we get offended, people tell us, well, it's an opinion and you shouldn't do this or that. We are in a time when Black people who have major platforms, who have the ability to influence our people in mass, when they say something that is out of line or they are adding their voice to the discrediting and the disrespect of a powerful Black woman who is standing up for us every single day. We're in a time where people need to challenge that behavior.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yo, there's been so many other people that I could have put into this clip to start us off that I just said, you know what, I'm just going to pick four. There's so many people that had something to say about Stephen A. And I want you to be, I'm sitting here, as I was putting this together earlier this afternoon, all I could think was, it's Dave Chappelle would say, I'm in quite a pickle. I'm in quite a pickle because the last thing I want to do is defend Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, I don't want to be the guy because I know people are lazy. They just are. Most people are lazy. They look at things one way. If you got criticism for Jasmine Crockett, they say you hate black women. That's it. If you got criticism for her, you hate her. Why don't you like Jasmine Crockett? Why you hate her? I don't even know this woman. How could I hate her? I don't know her. What'd she do? I don't know. You know, I had hate for Biden. He locked up more black people than slavery. And you voted for him. I don't understand. I mean, but anyway, not to get sidetracked. So, unfortunately, it puts you in a bad situation because it's like, I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith on a lot of shit. I don't even agree on his reason for criticizing Jasmine Crockett. But I know most people are too lazy to even sit around and stick around and even try to understand, oh, you don't like what Jasmine Crockett has said on these instances in the way she does certain things, but it's not the same way, Stephen A., because you have your own reasons. Oh, I know that's not going to happen. So I'm sitting here, I'm talking to Mrs. Black, my wife, and I'm like, babe, I want to say this. I want to do this segment, but I know I'm running the risk of being the guy lining up behind Stephen A. When I look at the other people, lining up behind Stephen A., I don't even want to be in that group. You got people like Brandon Tatum. I disagree with Brandon Tatum on so much shit, it's ridiculous. I'm sure the Hodge twins, the other disagreeable people that try to talk like this, and I don't know why black people are so reactive. Why black people have such attitudes, and why don't you just conduct yourself better and calm down and stop being so emotional, black people? That's what's wrong with you. These are black people saying this. The Anton Daniels, Jeffrey Meads, these types of people, you know what I'm saying? So I do not want to be in a group with them. I disagree with them on like 95% of shit they talk about. But, Jesus Christ, as I told someone today, I feel that Jasmine Crockett is more dangerous to black America than Stephen A. And I can back that up with logic and reason. So if I know that she is more dangerous to black America than Stephen A. Smith, no matter how despicable, how disagreeable, how out of the gym, and how lame, I think like, are you really going at her about the way she talked to Trump? Why do you care so much about the way she talked to Trump? Like, why? Really? That's what we doing? Okay, so to me, that's a dumbass reason. But here's the thing. It's not that I like the way she talks to Trump. I think it clouds the issue. I think it's performative. Okay? So I disagree with Stephen A., but I agree with Stephen A. when that Jasmine Crockett deserves criticism. I don't like the reasons for its criticism. I don't like where it's originating. I don't like the message behind it. It sounds too much like ass kissing to Trump. I don't give a shit about the way the tone she uses with Trump. Do I think the tone she uses is helpful? No. I feel that Jasmine Crockett has been talking the way she's been talking because she knows it's going to work with a certain segment of black America. That's what I think. I think that Jasmine Crockett and Stephen A. Smith are the same person. I think that there are a lot of people that realize that, but they don't have the guts to say it. They won't admit. They won't admit they're both putting on a show. Because that's exactly what they're doing. They're both performing. Stephen A. is performing for conservative whites, and Jasmine Crockett is performing for liberal black people. And black people that are in media who want to keep living indoors and staying on the good side of the Democratic Party. These are both performers. That's what it is. I don't want you to know, this is not a winning take. This is not an angle for someone trying to sell out or get money or whatever, because there ain't a whole lot of people that will have that type of nuance on this issue. They want me to just come shit on her or come shit on Stephen A. like they did. But see, we can't do what other people have done. We got to do what we feel is right. My biggest concern, my biggest gripe, I should say, my biggest gripe with Willie D and Godfrey and Tamika Mallory and other guy with the glasses from TikTok whose name I think it's Major League. I think it's Major League. You guys keep saying Jasmine Crockett's fighting for black people. Explain that. Because see, that's where my criticism's from. My criticism's from where does she fight for black people? Where's this coming at? I mean, Godfrey did kind of admit she's fighting for other people, other people's rights. Yeah, because she does a lot of fighting for Latinos. She's got a lot of Latinos in her district. I heard her be much more forceful about LGBTQ and trans people. She just used black people whenever she need to back somebody off her ass. My people, I come from a people that have been treated this way, XYZ. But she never fighted for anything specific for black people. What is she doing specifically for black people? Saying DI is a lie? Saying white supremacy is bad? These are just words. I talk. There are a lot of people with microphones that talk. That's all she's doing is talking. Just saying words. How is that fighting for people? Only thing I can do is talk. I'm a commentator. I'm not elected to office. There are people in my comment section that will hold me to a higher standard than the entire Democratic Party. They look at me and say, Tim Black, I hear what you're saying. Maybe you got a point. But what's your solution? They don't get in the show. They don't support the show. They don't do shit for the show. Nothing. But they look for a commentator who ain't elected to any office to have more solutions than Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett is a problem because Jasmine Crockett is an empty vessel of loudness and noise that distracts us from real problems. We get confused because she's talking recklessly to Trump that somehow helps us. I'd say it doesn't. I'd say actually it does the opposite. I don't think it helps us at all. I think it helps her. I think it helps the Democratic Party. The fact that black people think that Jasmine Crockett calling Trump names helps black people makes me say, damn, we got a problem. It almost makes me so disappointed in black people that I'm like, maybe I don't even need to even give a shit anymore. If black people think this congressperson calling Trump racist and bigot, saying he ain't shit, he's a piece of shit, and people think that is fighting for us, name calling, the dozens. I mean, black people have been doing that forever, man. We've been used to do dozens on my front porch in Surrey Square, on the deck, on the steps. We used to do that till 2 a.m. I didn't know I was fighting for black people by doing it. I just thought we was roasting each other. I had no idea this was going to help black people have more home ownership, move us out of 40% range into the 50% range, along with Latinos. I had no idea that's what name calling was going to do for us. We got black people that are smart enough to know that we need so much more than that, but they accept it. They accept that from her. Not only do they accept it, they say she is above scrutiny. She can't even be questioned. Jasmine Crockett went on a show with a black commentator and cared so little about having anything substantively to say about black Americans or what she's doing. She started talking about shit about public goods. And her response to, what about black people that want a black agenda? The Democrats do a lot for black people. We allocate a lot. Like in my district, we're trying to clean the water up for them. She said things that if a white person said them, you never want to hear from them again. You call them all types of names and run them out of town. She said exact same bullshit. But I got all these black people backing her up as if she didn't say these things. As if she is doing the Lord's work. And why? Because she a black female Democrat. Because if she was a black conservative, you wouldn't be saying it. If she was Omarosa talking about Obama, you wouldn't be defending her, going like, what are y'all doing saying these things to her? You would not give a shit what Stephen A. Smith had to say if he was talking about Omarosa, the Trump girls, Spice and Almonds, and rest in peace to the one that passed. Stacey Dash. You would not give a shit if he was talking about conservative black women. You only care. Godfrey's only making that video because it's Jasmine Crockett. Willie D's only speaking up because it's Jasmine Crockett. Willie D lives in Texas. He couldn't name a fucking thing that Jasmine Crockett did for Texas. His whole video is everything back from MAGA and Make America Great Again and all other types of silly shit. He couldn't even name anything tangible that she was working on in his own district when he lives there in the state. That's how bad it is. And to me, folks, that is dangerous. That we have people that are supposed that are influential in the black community that go for such cheap parlor tricks. They go for such lame performances. They go for such empty symbolism. Black America don't need symbols. We need solutions. Not only do you not demand solutions out of Democrats, you praise them and attack other people. Now, once again, I don't give a shit about Stephen A. Stephen A. is a rich man doing well. He get another show, and believe me, as much as y'all was complaining about Stephen A., white people love what he said. So with the demographic that he's really penetrating right now, which ain't us, the market with, he's doing really well. That's a winner for him. I know we think, or some of us think, that he took a real big L. Only depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it. Her style. Who gives a shit? I don't care about her style. Do I think it's performative and over the top and lame and corny that a person with all the degrees that Jasmine Crockett has chooses to conduct herself that way? That sets that as a standard for black women, knowing that if black women are black girls, as a father of black girls, I don't want my daughter talking like that. I know she won't get the same money that Jasmine Crockett got. Well, she'll have that type of freedom. That she can talk that way in school, to authority people, in the situations. Jasmine Crockett was funded by a fraudster by the name of Sam Bankman-Fried, who was in jail for fraud, for Ponzi schemes and defrauding people with crypto shit. That's how she ran. That's how she won her seat. No one talks about these things as if it's hidden information. So she had enough money to run and win from Missouri to Texas, and people applauded. Fine. That's how our system works. It's all about the money, baby. But there are people that know these things. There are people that are aware of it who just won't say it. Why? Because they want shine off it. We got people that are up here defending Jasmine Crockett, pretending like there is nothing that can be criticized about the emptiness of the rhetoric, the pointless attacking. It's just distraction. That's all it is. But all they see is an opportunity to boost their podcast, which no one was listening to. There are some people I didn't even include in this clip because I was like, well, I don't even want to bleep out all of the expletives, cursing and spitting and yelling that they were doing trying to defend Jasmine Crockett because they didn't have anything substantive to say. At the end of the day, they just consider Republicans as the plantation. I don't know, some weird shit. I don't know. Yeah, what they say? They say that Stephen A. is an Uncle Tom, and he want to work for Trump. And he kissing Trump's ass. Jasmine Crockett was kissing Biden's ass in ways that I think she should have had a NC-17 rating on all her videos, if not an X rating. The way she was kissing up to Biden was disgusting. It was pathetic, frankly. And the whole time the dude was senile and she fucking knew it and she didn't say anything. And all of y'all are right behind it, right there in line with it. And some of you know, I know most of you know better. Most of you know that was some bullshit. You knew Biden wasn't well. I wish my parents loved me as much as Joe Biden loves his son. What? You don't think that's worth criticizing? The author of the crime bills. I wish my parents loved. Remember that? It wasn't that long ago. All of that ass-kissing performance nonsense. Jasmine Crockett is almost 45 years old. She's a 45-year-old attorney, able to practice law in multiple states. Acting like she's 23, sending a horrible message to young black girls that they can conduct themselves that way. And not to mention the groveling for Biden. That was so disgusting. Man, she groveled for Biden in ways Stephen A. has not groveled for Trump. I mean, I haven't seen anyone except that despicable preacher dude on X. I won't say anybody. There are some people that were kissing Trump's ass in certain ways, but come on, man. Jasmine Crockett's ass kissing of Joe Biden is the thing of legend, okay? She kissed Joe Biden's ass more than Kamala Harris did. I have never seen a congressperson kiss Joe Biden's ass the way Jasmine Crockett kissed Joe Biden's ass. And folks, you have short memories. Some of us don't. So, at the end of the day, fam, this ain't about, as much as I hate to do it, because like I said, I disagree with Stephen A. on a lot of shit. I think Stephen A. is an opportunist, but I think Jasmine Crockett is an opportunist. And I think the people that are denying, and I don't mean regular people that watch shows, maybe don't have time, but the people in media whose clips I used, I think they know it. And some of them are opportunists too. They're opportunists. Philanthropists and opportunists and activist-tunists and tunist-tunists, seller-tunist, manipulatunist, minstrel-tunist, minstrel shows / opportunist. That's what they are. A number of people. And until Black America, I feel, until the majority, not all, because it's never going to be all, but until more Black Americans can see through Jasmine Crockett as a performing loudmouth, as someone playing a game, all that shit she does don't benefit us. It benefits herself. It put her in a position that she's in, or Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or whatever the hell. I mean, what really does it do? Really? I do not hate her. I don't know her. In fact, I was one of the people, I was saying from day one, well, not day one, day two, it's not going to end well for her. She kept poking the bear, and eventually the bear swings. And then eventually, all of that noise travels up to Trump, and eventually he's going to respond. And when he responds, it won't be well. Mark my words, inside of 6 months to a year, she'll have a charge on her. They're going to find something on her, just like they did Fonnie Willis, just like they did Big Tish up in New York. They're going to find something on Jasmine Crockett. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be something. They found something on Cory Bush. They got Jamal Bowman for pulling the damn fire alarm. It's going to find something because I want to know, the real question is, fam, instead of Tiffany Cross and Angela Rye and Gillum and Bakari just riding for Sister Girl, why is it Black women got to jump out the gym in such a way in order to get favor with the Democrats? Why come Black women can't just be Black women doing their damn job? Why do they have to be the crash test dummies that risk their lives, that run into burning buildings, media-wise, to just be respected? That's a good question. No one wants to ask that question. Why is it you say, oh, black women, black women they're always in the front line. Why? Why do they put the black women on? Don't you realize Democrats will do nothing but use black women as cannon fodder? Shoot them at the other side? Nobody cares about cannon fodder. You do know that. You know, it's great. You load it up into the cannon, you light the match and shoot, bam. No one goes and picks up the cannon fodder and nurses it back to health and makes sure it's okay. As long as it hits its target, everyone's happy. That's what's going to happen with Jasmine Crockett. That's what's happening with her. The only reason why this isn't totally sticking, I don't know. I think the fact that Stephen A. is a black guy, he chose to do this because nobody white can do it without being called racist. So he's like really taking one for the conservatives. Oh, so many of the white conservatives are like, yay, get him, Steve. So I can't support that because it's not substantive. Stephen A. Smith is not upset with Jasmine Crockett. He ain't calling her out for the same reasons I am. I'm saying, what are black Americans getting for this? How has this really helped black America? I don't see it helping, and I see nothing more but hollow symbolism by the Democratic Party to distract black people into thinking this is helpful, when no one can tell me how it helps black people. I don't see it helping black people. If anything, you're just antagonizing Trump for your own uses in order to get notoriety and fame, to rise in perception and awareness. And if that's not true, what was the Kendrick Lamar dances for? What were the t-shirt sales for? Jasmine Crockett. What was all the bullshit for? Jasmine Crockett. What are the Instagram posts for? What's the profanity, dropping the F-bombs and shit for? If it wasn't to be noticed. You know what I'm saying? Is that really something you're going to defend and say it's not? You're really going to deny you weren't trying to be noticed? That you weren't trying to just be popular? People that got criticism for me for even doing this segment, are you really going to deny there wasn't an ulterior motive behind that shit? I mean, really? She's 45, dancing to rap music in fucking Congress, dog. How are you going to say that shit? Godfrey, how could you say that wasn't performative? You're an educated guy. Are you doing backspins? If you go to Congress, would you be doing backspins in the eye? See, I don't need to get upset with this because it's all a game. Everybody knows I'm right. They all know I'm right. They're not stupid. They know it's a game. It's a game we play. It's a game that we pretend this is helpful when it's not. It's a game we pretend like this changes something for black America. There's something because black Americans are doing so bad as a whole, not all of us, that just saying shit, just saying racist, bigot, asshole, shit, F you, looks like a win. But it's not. I want real wins for black America. Unlike Stephen A. Smith, I want real wins for black America. I don't want Trump treated nice. I can give a shit if Trump's treated nice. I don't give a shit if any president's treated nice. That ain't what you there for. You're not there to be treated nice, people to kiss your ass. You there to do your damn job for all of Americans. So I'm not on that shit. What I am on is something totally different. Tamika Mallory, my song, all these people, Plies, all these people, they defended her because she's a black woman. They would not defend a black woman who was not a Democrat. They wouldn't say a mumbling word if this was Omarosa. You could care less. Hell, they wouldn't say a mumbling word if this was one of the black women out of Chicago who were calling out Brandon Johnson. That's how little they really give a shit. If it was a black woman out of Memphis calling out, supporting the troops, they would be not saying a word. They would not give a shit about it. It's because she's Jasmine Crockett. They're star humpers. Like most of the Democratic Party, they star humpers. And they don't want problems. and they want to line up behind their team. And I'm sorry, Black America. I feel your pain. I understand it. I am you. We are together. I get it. But fam, it's unhelpful. And to me, it's an opportunity to say, hey, we need to be focused on bigger shit than this. We need to not reward this. We need not, until Black America sees Stephen A. Smith kissing Republican ass, see that. Until they can see what Bakari Sellers does, what Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid and Don Lemon does for Democrats, until they see that the same, we ain't got a shot, man. We ain't got a shot. Until the majority of Black Americans can see us sellouts on both sides of the aisle. And I think we're getting there. We're slowly starting to get there. I think people are waking up. Black America's waking up. And, I know some people call us bots or MAGA and Trump supporters, and we hate ourselves. We hate our women. We hate Black people. Yeah, they say all this shit. I love Black people more than you will ever love us. Because I'm willing to make less money. I'm willing to lose opportunity. What you lost? What you lose? You didn't lose because you were fighting for Black people. You lost because you got a big-ass head. You lost because you thought you weren't Black no more. Nah. Until we're waking up, and we need more Black people to wake up and see both sides of that aisle, it's bullshit. Until we see that both sides suck. When we see that both sides don't have our best interests at heart. There are white people that see this. I think there are more Black people waking up to this now. There are some Black people that have always known it. That would say, Tim, you late to the game, fam. I've been on this shit for 5 years. But in the beginning, I didn't think, I wasn't even into politics. And then once I got into politics, I looked and said, well, you know what? The Democrats have better policies. But then as I started to learn, they haven't had a primary in the Democratic Party in 12 years. How could you ever support a party that won't even level the playing field for who gets to participate? What are we even talking about? All right, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Stephen A. Smith can be wrong, but to me, Jasmine Crockett's wronger because she don't have a leg to stand on. Not really. Calling Trump names is not a win for us. This is not a comedy show. This is not an actor's audition for a movie. This ain't a 2B movie, Miss Representative Crockett. I'm disappointed in so many people right now. But hey, it is what it is. They know that I have a point. They will never admit it in public. They will never say, you know what, you're right, Democrats, they ain't shit. Republicans ain't shit. They're both horrible. They just are. Tim, you're right, but I can't say it because what? Because you're right? Because you lose something? Well, you know what, man? Until Black people are willing to lose something, we'll never gain anything. More Black people got to be willing to lose if we're going to win. And it's getting lonely out here, the fact that I can speak truth to power like this. And notice, I'm not calling Jasmine Crockett names. I'm not shitting on her as a human being or as a Black woman. But I am calling out the bullshit. And until we can do that, and people be honest about a people that are at the bottom, we're at the top of everything bad and at the bottom of everything good in this country. We catch the most shit. We're treated the worst. And we don't have time for games like this. But this is all they got time for. They so happy this happened. They get a news cycle, people pay attention to them, and Black people go right back to losing. What have we learned from this? What do we take away from this? How will this assist us in the future? I don't see it. So, hey man, I may not have changed many opinions tonight. Hey, I'm okay with it. But I feel like I said what I think needs to be said at this moment. It's crucial for us to understand what's working for us and what's not. Performative politics does not work for us. We need substantive policy. And if we can't expect that out of elected officials, who can we expect it out of? Comedians, political commentators on the internets and Spotify and YouTube? That it? There are those that make excuses. Oh, she's just the first term representative, Tim. But if we can't expect more out of representatives, who are we looking at? What are you mad because Dave Chappelle said a joke? You guys have more smoke for comedians making jokes than you do for representatives making jokes. All right, that's it. I'm done, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section below. Notice there was no profanity used or aimed at Jasmine Crockett, but that won't matter. Just the fact I disagree with the shenanigans. And people saying, she fighting for us, Tim. Well, you know, she a black woman fight for us. How is that? Because she said Trump was a piece of shit. Oh, okay. Yay! I'm going to go put on. I'm going to go put my kids through school on that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wonder if I could go buy a new car with that. I'm wondering if my retirement will be more intact because she said that. Probably none of the above. Nothing at all. The only thing that happened was she got ink and press and coverage. That's it. That's all that happened. That was the outcome of all that for the last 18 months of Jasmine showing her ass. Only thing that's happened is she became famous. We remain nameless. It's me. That is shameless. All right, that's it. Let's go to the next thing, man. Give it up for that. Let's keep moving, Johnson. We got other content here tonight. My people, my people, my people, my people, my people.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
My name is Stella. I want to ask, do you support ICE taking working people off the streets and kidnapping them?
Next on.
All right, man. You know, it sounded to me like someone was laughing at that. What was so fucking funny, man? You know, this guy could have died falling like that. Yeah, you know, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. I saw Kev on stage make a funny clip as if McConnell was pretending. Now, Mitch McConnell, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he like 83 or 84 years old, some shit like that? I don't know if you noticed in that, Kevin. I mean, you're a funny guy. But someone over 80 years old falling could be a death sentence. So I don't think that was on purpose. I know we don't care. I know we don't care because he's a Republican. If that would have been Jim Clyburn, anybody black, you wouldn't have laughed at all. You wouldn't have made a clip. You'd have kept it moving. And look, I'm not policing comedy, man. You know, it's just, at some point, man, we got to say, man, come get Mitch. I'm not defending Mitch. I'm not. I think Mitch has been an impediment on so many issues. But at some point, man, somebody got to let a guy come get the guy. Somebody come get Mitch out of the goddamn street. Where's Mitch's people? That's all I'm saying. Where's Mitch's people? Somebody pretend to care about Mitch. Come take Mitch home. Mitch need to be more by than that. In a recliner, with a remote in his hand, some sweet tea at his right, his feet up, leaning back, watching Green Acres or whatever old white guys watch. Ironside, Perry Mason clips. That's what he needs to be doing. He does not need to be doing this. And I understand he's not running for re-election, right? Man, just go home. Just go home. Like, I'm just trying to have a little compassion here. If he breaks his hip, he dies. The probability is that he will die. Now, it's not, I mean, we got to have some decency. We can have some decency, right? If that was, like I said, if that was Maxine Waters, I'd be saying the same thing. And white people were laughing at Maxine Waters. Because you know they would. They'd be laughing at her right now if it was her. Some of them would have spit their food out. Their stomachs would be hurting from laughing so hard. And I would be saying the same thing. How disgusting. Well, I'm not even saying this is disgusting. But I would say if it was Maxine, because we got, she's a woman and she's... Don't get me twisted, guys. I call Mitch McConnell Glitch McConnell because he be glitching and freezing up and shit. But at some point, even a guy who has roasted Mitch McConnell has to say, okay, stop hitting him with the stick. At some point, you walk in and you go, he's had enough. The guy's had enough. I ain't got to like him. He deserved that ass whooping. But, man, at some point, that's enough. That's enough, Johnson. That is it. Come get him. Get your people to get your back. I'm going back to training day, man, when the essays was like, hey, your people get your back. Mitch McConnell, get your people to get your back. Because I'm getting Jill Biden vibes. She let Joe just go out there like Joe could have died. Walking up the stairs, walking up Air Force One steps. His ass did not need, he needed one of them chairs that sit like this. You just push the button and it just take you up. He needed one of those. He needed a hover chair. He did not need to be walking up them damn steps. Folks, at some point, Trump is on that street. He right there. He's right there, fam. We need new people. All right, that's it. Let me know what y'all think, man. I just think it's at some point, man, like it goes beyond funny. It's not even funny no more. I don't need to watch a snuff film. C-SPAN I should not witness a death by watching C-SPAN. I should see deaths like I normally do on the evening news. That's C-SPAN. Get what I'm saying? All right, that's it. Next.
On Deck with Tim Black.
He's a citizen! He's a citizen!
Why are you running? Because you saw you were.
He's a citizen! He's a citizen! That's my brother-in-law!
Get the fuck away from me! You don't know what's going on, so get the fuck back!
Okay, so let me tell you what's really going on here. I see folks online screaming about this young man with police brutality, and yeah, seeing a young man slammed to the ground like this. I wanted to cover this because it's brought to my attention, and yeah, we need to talk about what happened here at this ICE raid in Chicago. If you haven't seen it, let's keep it going.
Back up! Back the fuck up! Back up!
It happened after federal agents were seen swarming the store, appearing to be in search of someone.
When he called for backup, other people come in, and that's when I start to leave.
Whoa, whoa.
don't know what's going on, so get the back. Back up! Back the back up!
If they're doing their job while they're covering their mask.
I just graduated high school, so they could come from literally anybody, and that's not right.
In Chicago's East Side neighborhood, I'm Trey Ward, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay. Okay, so in our communities, we had this thing called over-policing. You may have heard about it. Happens a lot. What I don't like about this story is that people are using this story in order to divert us away from the immigration conversation. And as usual, they want to use black pain and suffering to highlight it. Police raids happen. They don't just happen when ICE is raiding. If you run during a police raid, a policeman might tackle you. I'm just glad he wasn't shot. He wasn't tased or shot and no one leaned on his head. You know, that's happened. And it wasn't ICE. It was just regular good old cops doing regular old police work. I'm not saying it's good when that's not even a child, I'm sorry. He's out of high school. So this young man, like, I'm not saying it's good that he got tackled. Right? I'm not saying it's good he got detained if he was detained. What I'm saying is that, can we calm down just a little bit about this? I mean, have you been paying attention to what's been going on in this country? They were raiding this business. Maybe if they didn't have to raid this business, maybe this doesn't happen. Why do they have to raid this business? These are questions I'm wondering. Now, if that young man has as much as a scrape on his knee, sue. Sue, sue, sue. If he has a swollen clavicle, if his wrist hurts, I don't give a shit. In fact, I would encourage his people to sue. They got money to spend on ICE, they got money to spend on you. All I'm saying is, let's not allow, I don't like the fact that black people get used for this. I don't like the fact that people are using black pain in order to try to dull what's been going on with these deportations. Oh, see, it's happening to you black people, see what's happening, no, that shit been happening to us the whole time. And you know what I wasn't hearing? I want to hear a lot of people going, oh, look at this, look at this, this man got tackled, this young man got tackled. Under normal circumstances, this would not even be a clip. This is only a clip because he's not Latino. It's only a clip because it's ICE. This is just another Friday. When this happened, Thursday, this is just another Thursday in the hood. And as far as cops brutality go, police brutality go, this ain't even on the list. If you could put this on a scale of 1 to 10 in typical police brutality situations, this is barely a 1. Barely a 1. And you know it. And you know it. You know it. You know it. I seen a little black girl treated worse after a pool party. Yeah. I saw young black girls treated worse by police after a pool party than this. So anyway, they're not mad about ICE, they're mad that we have to see what ICE actually does. Because ICE been doing a thing like this for years. And that's one of the most frustrating points about it is, this is not new. ICE didn't just start learning how to deport people. They deported people throughout the Obama administration, previous to the Obama administration, but no coverage, no outrage, nobody DMing me upset. Saying, look at that, Tim. Only when they think it's a Republican is it a problem. So yeah, it's performative. It's a game to y'all. In our communities, police interactions are routine. It's a Thursday, but now folks are shocked. See, we need to stop the deportations and we need to be against ICE because, wait for it, black people might be impacted. Okay, Black people been impacted. Where were you? Where were they? That's a fair question. If we really are we worried about black people being impacted, or are you worried about Latino people being, or undocumented people of any ilk being deported? Is that what you're worried about? I think that's what you're worried about. Because if you was worried about black people having interactions with cops, you know that shit has been going on since the day one. And that ain't gonna stop, even if all ICE pulled out, if they stopped ICE and we let the floodgates open, that would still be happening to young black men. This young man didn't deserve that treatment, but the story's bigger than one incident. It's policy and the hypocrisy of the immigration. I still stand where I stand, folks. I think if you're gonna have a country, you gotta have a border. Everybody got a door at their house. Feel free to open them and allow people to come in, willy-nilly. Don't look for ID or nothing. That's racist. Don't check them for guns or drugs or whatever. Just let them in, because that's what they want you to do. And hey, what the hell? You know, maybe your landlord wants you to have more people in your house. Help keep the place up, keep the building better, keep the property cleaner. I mean, I'm just looking at the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Most of the feel-good liberals that are so against border policy, that controls the border, they don't live places where this is impacted. And also, they got nothing to say about the resources in the black community where most of the migrants are sent. They don't care. It's not their neighborhood. And if they want to, they can petition. Start a petition, progressives. Start a petition to have migrants sent to your neighborhoods. Yeah, do that. Have resources come out of your neighborhoods. But that's right. Most of you don't live on your own. You know? Are you living on your own with resources? Do you have families? There are black families that are impacted by this immigration influx. Millions of people coming across the border, coming to black neighborhoods. They didn't go to your neighborhoods. And I think that's why you look at it the way you do. Hell, man, I saw a raid. There was a raid at like a pickup spot, like a Uber location at an airport. I think that's what it was. Yeah, anybody hear about this? And like there were all these cars that they like did a sweep of. And it turns out that if you're an American, you can't even picking up people from the airport. Cause like there were like 50 cars out there waiting to pick people up coming home from the airport. And after ICE left, there was like 5 left. So that means that a large amount of people or a large amount of the car shares or whatever are people that are undocumented. And I'm just saying, it's nothing for nothing. Hey, I'm just pointing out a thing that's, when I say there's industries that are impacted, it's all over the place. I don't think people realize how tight some Americans' pockets are. I don't think you realize the financial strain many Americans are going under, or up under. And just because it's not your existence doesn't mean other people aren't impacted by it. Yeah, it's bad when people got to work 2 and 3 jobs. What's worse is when you can't find 2 or 3 jobs, and then you find out the wages are down in those 2 or 3 jobs because there are people willing to work those 2 or 3 jobs who get stipends who are not even legally in the country. But hey, I know, not a big deal. Let's keep it moving, Tim. Why are we focused on that? That's just distractions from real problems. Yeah, it sounds like something people with means and money say in detachment who don't feel any repercussions. All right, let's keep it going, fam. Yep, let's keep it going.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
There is no sign that the race is tightening at all, Kate Baldwin. If anything, Zora Mamdani's lead is getting bigger, wider, larger. You look in September in a three-way, Mamdani was at 45, Cuomo 15 points back, Curtis Lewa, the Republican, at 17. Look at where we are now. Mamdani is actually up. He's up to 49%. Then you got Cuomo at 31%, so a 15-point advantage back in September on the average. Now it is 18 points. The bottom line is this. Andrew Cuomo needs something very big to change at this particular point, unless, of course, he becomes Teddy Roosevelt overnight. Because if something doesn't change over the final 2.5 weeks of this campaign, this race is pretty much over.
What is the historical kind of precedent for a comeback like this?
Yeah, okay. So I went back through the history books, Kate Baldwin. You know I love going through my spreadsheets more than anything else. I love my girlfriend. I love my spreadsheets. I love cream soda. What happens if we look at the historical spreadsheets? Look at this. Mamdani leads by 18 points right now. Look at the largest polling average miss since 1989. You know what it was? It was 11 points. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know 11 points is less than 18 points. So if Andrew Cuomo is going to come back and win, either something like Curtis Lewa has to drop out of the race, or you need a polling miss that is nearly twice as large as the largest miss on record. So you're going to probably need something historically unprecedented for Andrew Cuomo to win this race if the polling average holds through Election Day.
There are lots of reasons why anyone picks one candidate over another, but what is some of what you're seeing why Mamdani's doing so well?
Okay, why is Mamdani doing so well? Sometimes, Kate Baldwin, politics is simple. Life is never simple, but politics can be simple. And it simply comes down to this. Mamdani is the likable guy and Andrew Cuomo isn't. This is not a case of the lesser of two evils. You look at the net favorable rating. Mamdani is at plus 15 points. Andrew Cuomo has been underwater in the average poll throughout this entire campaign.
And I just want to speak directly to the president, which is that I will not be a mayor like Mayor Adams who will call you to figure out how to stay out of jail. I won't be a disgraced governor like Andrew Cuomo who will call you to ask how to win this election. I can do those things on my own. I will, however, be a mayor who is ready to speak at any time to lower the cost of living. That's the way that I'm going to lead this city. That's the partnership I want to build, not only with Washington, D.C., but anyone across this country. I think it's important because too often the focus on the needs of working class Americans, working class New Yorkers are put to the side as we talk more and more about the very kinds of corrupt politicians like Andrew Cuomo that delivered us into this kind of crisis.
So the question I asked you was what specifically in your background gives you the confidence that you can run a $115 billion budget and run this city specifically from your personal experience and your background?
I've been a state assembly member here in New York City. I've represented 130,000 people in Queens. And in the time that I've done so, I've not only delivered more than $100 million in increased bus and subway service, I've also secured $500 million in debt relief for working class taxi drivers. President Trump knows this. New Yorkers know this across the 5 boroughs. Taxis, as we're looking at them right here, are such a part of what we love about this city. And yet those same drivers were sold a lie about a ticket to the middle class if they bought a medallion. Unleashing my landlord's ability to raise my rent. If you think that the problem in this city is that my rent is too low, vote for him. If you know the problem in this city is that your rent is too high, vote for me.
I was the HUD secretary. I built affordable housing all across this nation. I built affordable housing in this city when I was in my 20s. I know how to get it done.
Well, Zoran, boy, your fantasies are never going to come about in terms of funding everything you want that's going to be free, free, free. It's a fantasy. Let's deal with the reality.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience.
What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Next on deck.
Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you. We're done here. We made our choice. Mamdani for the win. Mamdani for the win. Johnson, we're seeing now a changing of the Guard family, an ending of a dynasty. America doesn't want the Clintons or the Cuomos. Yeah, we were done with that shit. It's over for them, okay? Like the guy said, man, this is not rocket science. Cuomo's unlikable. He was unsuccessful. This other guy, I don't know why he's even in a race. What do you want, man? What do you want, man? What do you want? What are we doing here? Look, Johnson. We're going to find out what a socialist can do. They calling him a socialist. I don't know what he calls himself, But we're going to find out what he can do in New York because he's about to become the next mayor of New York unless he's caught in a bed with a young boy or a dead lady of the evening. Yeah, I mean, it's a wrap, Johnson. Like, what else? It's nothing else that could happen. Voters want authenticity. Cuomo doesn't have any unless you consider his bad points. I mean, sexual harassment and then letting old people die. I mean, this is what Mamdani's up against. Sometimes it's better to have a clean slate, and that's what Mamdani has. Basically a clean slate and a clean face and willing to talk quick and make his points and say those things and have lines that make sense. Cuomo even was talking about, why would he bring up COVID? I mean, it's like, did you practice it all? It's like I saw part of the portion of the debate where this guy brought up COVID, like, oh, God forbid, another COVID would have happened. What would you do? I'd let a bunch of old people die on my watch. That's one thing I wouldn't do. I mean, he like walked right into shit. It's like he's in the middle of the woods and someone yelled snake. Bam! Walked right into a tree, Richard Pryor style. We bad. We bad. We bad. I'm not seeing a point where Cuomo has a shot at all. There's nothing that's going to save him. Nothing can save you because this is the season for catching the vapors. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm excited. You know what? I'm excited to see what Mamdani's going to do. What if this ushers in a new thing? You know, maybe some New Yorkers move, maybe they leave, maybe they don't. Maybe they say, you know what? We've had bad mayors before. We'll have them again. Maybe this will be a better mayor than we thought. I mean, some people had the bar set so low that I think Mamdani's going to do a good enough job. And if he doesn't, it couldn't be any worse than Brandon Johnson in Chicago. I mean, really, guys. I mean, really. Are you that upset about having a grocery store? I mean, I hear some of the complaints. It's like, he's going to put a grocery store. I'm like, people still eat, don't they? I mean, how is that going to bankrupt New York? He might want the buses might be free. I'm like, I can't hear you, but is that really bad? I don't know. It's like, some of the complaints, like, I don't know. When establishment power fades, the truth gets louder. Is that what's happening? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Would you give Cuomo another shot, or is it time for new blood? I think most people feel the way I do, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, 18 points, Johnson. I mean, Eric Adams dropped out, and I don't even know, like, did it help? I don't even think it helped. I don't think it helped Cuomo at all. I think Trump wanted, he needs to talk to Silva, and he needs to talk to Mamdani. Yeah, I think Trump, but he called Eric Adams up and told him to drop out. He needs to also call Silva and call Mamdani. And I don't think they're going to answer the call, though. I don't think so. That's just my opinion, man. Type if you're tired of politicians building walls between us and progress. I think there is a certain amount of, there's a lot of stagnation that people are used to. If things got to change, and we'll see if they're going to change with this. Yeah, I got Mamdani for the win, man. I mean, it's easy call now. I don't even think they're laying bets for this shit anymore. I mean, it's obvious. Next.
With Tim Black.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Go back and read what the Second Amendment says. And perhaps it will knock some sense in the head in the heads of these people who are saying, well, it's all great. I don't believe they're doing it without due process. They're asking people for papers. They're not really beating people up. These people are doing things that are illegal. Nobody is illegal. It is a misdemeanor to cross the border.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
So Don Lemon is telling people to go get guns. Interesting. Yeah, that's rich. Don Lemon telling people to go get guns. Arm yourselves. Why wasn't he saying this about black Americans, man, dealing with these damn cops? Yeah, Don, you just now getting a backbone, Johnson? See what I'm saying about these lames? Now all of a sudden they got backbones. Now all of a sudden they want to stand up to power. Now all of a sudden now you're telling people to go get guns. Why? Because some undocumented people may be deported. Oh no. You know what, Johnson? I support it. Go get your gun. See, undocumented people can't get guns though, can they? I didn't think they could. Okay, so he's talking to people that are documented. Yeah, it's weird because I thought there was a law. I thought they couldn't vote or own guns. Maybe I'm wrong, Johnson. Am I getting something wrong here? So who's he really talking to? Yeah, what I'm saying is, though, man, if you want to be bold and you want to say that people need to protect themselves, I mean, there are a lot of people that need to protect themselves in this country. You know, I just find it rich that you would say it now and who you're saying it to. Why not to black people? Yeah, I would have respected this if you said it back when you worked for CNN and you would have said it, I don't know, when black people were getting their backs kicked in. One of the many stories of black people getting shot or killed. I mean, maybe the Ahmaud Arbery story, you were covering it then. Why didn't you say it then? That was a perfect time to say, hey, I think black people need to get armed. I don't think you did, Don. Yeah, Donnie, I think you were doing other things. That's what I'm saying about the liberals, man. They are full of shit. And this whole thing about immigration and border deportations just gives them an opportunity to advocate for other people that they would never have the guts to have the same advocacy for black America. Not even Don Lemon. Yep, not even Don Lemon. It pains me, man. Every time I hear Don Lemon talk, and I know that he has an audience, it bothers me. Because this is a guy who was working for CNN for a couple decades, who made probably $100 million, if not more, just from his job, his day job, not counting any other thing. And when he loses his job, he gets fired, he gets humiliated. Not only did he get humiliated, not only did he get fired, he was demoted from his primetime slot, his own show, to working with other people during the day. Then they moved his ass to the early morning. They did everything to tell this guy, get out of here. And then what did he do? As he saw the writing on the wall, he started putting on his black coat, putting on his blackness, because he knew the door was coming. When they took him off his own show and added him with 2 white girls, he knew it was over. But the delusional people, the people that don't pay attention, the people that flatter themselves, make themselves feel better, Don's fighting for us. Yeah, Don was fighting for Don. That's what Don was doing. He's an actor. But my big problem is not just that, because most of them act. Katie Couric, please. Most of them are actors, right? Here's the thing, though. After he's disrespected by CNN, after they kick him to the curb, after they embarrass him, they marginalize him, they drop kick him to the wind, get out of here. Does this guy come out and say, you know what, I'm going to tell the truth about CNN? I'm going to expose CNN for all the travesties, all the corruption, all the yellow journalism, all the bullshit they've been doing over the years. No. No, he doesn't. He turns his independent platform into CNN 2.0. That's what he did. He both sides every issue, but still puts his thumb on the scale for Democrats. It's the same shit. He's a coward. He's just a coward, man. It's like the only people willing to risk shit are broke people. Broke people that don't have anything to lose are the only people willing to lose everything. But people with money don't want to risk a damn thing. What good is it if all you do is hoard it and afraid to lose it? Don's one of those people. Now, I don't know what they got on Don, but they probably got something. They got something on everybody. Is there an Epstein Island for the gays? Has Don been? Who knows? Don been gay a long time. Who knows what they got on Don? Don been a young man, single, before he was married for a long time. Who knows? Who knows what type of stuff Don did or whatever. All I'm saying is, I just can't wrap my head around why him and Joy Reid haven't exposed the system. But they come out here and talk so tough. And now Don's gone so far to talk about get your gun, Annie. Dude, you won't even get your pellet gun on CNN. Fuck out of here. I mean, some people are dumb, but not all of us are dumb. Some people see through it, Donnie. But they call it radical when we want to exercise the same rights that they brag about. And you know what? So I'm down with 2A. I'm down with black people owning guns. But let's keep it a buck. That ain't what Don's talking about. He ain't even talking to us. Because if he was, he'd be saying some different shit. He'd be telling us to pull our pants up. Pull our pants up. Pick our trash up in our communities or something. That was the Don Lemon I know when he started talking to black people. All right, next segment. Let's talk about how the digital space is radicalizing minds in a whole different way. Next.
They have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. That women are inferior, they do not deserve equal rights, that they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman, that they believe and are circulating disgusting racial and white supremacist messaging that they are able to get away with digitally and online. And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. And that is why they are resonating online, because they are appealing to the most basest and worst parts of human nature to divide us. And why to divide us? So that the same people who own those platforms, people like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, that these people can continue to get away with highway robbery in tax cuts, and in order to fleece all of our pockets, cut our health care, keep our wages low, so that we remain fighting amongst ourselves while they make themselves richer. And so in order for us to fight back against that, we must be clear about what we believe, have strong beliefs, and also be completely unwilling to bow to that kind of division and stand in solidarity with one another, especially when it is someone whose culture is different from ours or whose background we may not entirely understand, but that we honor, love, and see as our fellow Americans.
Next on Deck with Tim Black.
So the question, I know you kind of missed the question there. The question was, why are the right wing winning when it comes to the culture wars online? Why are they doing a better job in the podcast space or better job with memes and other things like that? Online, the right is winning. And why is that? And she went on to name a litany of grievances that all Democrats say, white supremacy, toxic masculinity, blah, 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 blah. LGBTQIA hate. They hate women, they hate blacks, they hate the gays, they hate everybody. And that wins. It's just not wrong. If you just consider YouTube, X. X, yeah, okay, X, I got you. And maybe there's some other platforms that I don't use that are similar. But it's an industry. And the left just isn't funny. You're not allowed to be funny because to be funny, you got to be able to go there. And the left don't let you go there because if you go there, they try to get you canceled. If you go there, they want to destroy you. The only time they allow you to go there is when you're going at Republicans. It's the only time. It's cool. It's the only time it's rewarded. Yeah, if you risk anything, if you walk the thin line, they got a problem with it. So yeah, that's yeah. And also she's leaving out, even if she's right about toxic masculinity, whatever that is, being a guy, you got to admit it's bipartisan. I mean, I don't know if you notice or not, AOC, but liberals have men and women in the relationships too. It's not all relationships on the left are LGBTQ. Some are heterosexual. Some are traditional. That exists, at least I thought it did. I mean, maybe in dwindling numbers, but yeah, there's some traditional households on that side of the aisle. And another thing she's leading out is both sides feed the algorithm. Democrats and Republicans or conservatives or liberals or whatever, the left or the right, whatever you're talking about here. I don't even know if it's the left. I don't even know what it is. But they all use the algorithm. The algorithm wants confrontation. The algorithm wants people getting triggered. That is true. That's what it is. That's what works. And both sides use the media to their benefit. In fact, I almost see it as, see, here's the thing. Liberals, they use TV. TV's dead. So you're screwed. Because while you had TV, the only field that the right had to play on was social media. So they played hard. They played hard for the last 12 years, ever since Obama's first term. Yeah. Ever since Obama got elected. Actually, since the second term, really. Yeah, I say second term. So they've been playing hard in the paint since then. That's what it was. But see, you guys still had your dinosaur media. And that's where you put your money in. You dominated. You had all the MSNBCs, CNNs, ABCs, CBS, and people were actually watching that shit. And now that people don't watch that anymore, they're all online. And guess what? Conservatives just had more time to get better at it. They built up, I don't know, a knowledge base. They know what's effective. So we got Democrats, they come online, they just shame people. They're not funny. They just want to use social pressure to win the battle with a meme. They want to use, like put this in your avatar. Like that's their way of competing against the right, and it's just not working, fam. But at the end of the day, it's platforms that are greedy. They want confrontation. They exploit our vulnerabilities. They exploit our differences to make money. And it's not like that's just one side of the aisle. Let's be clear, man. The Democrats or conservatives or liberals, all groups do it because it works. They all do it because it works. No one's a saint, no one's a devil. No one's evil, no one's godly. All of us are fallible, and all of us, all entities do this, okay? That's how the internet works. And anybody being successful, whether it's Midas Touch or the Rogan or whatever podcast you favor, whether it's Mark Maron or it's Joy Coy, all right? Ali Sadiq. You got to put asses in seats, and you got to entertain people. And the way that you do that is by pushing buttons. It's not just ideology, it's industry. And until the left or until progressives or until non-conservatives understand that it's an industry and that there's certain ways you gotta operate, until you realize that, and it's not about right or wrong or good and bad, because it's bad on both sides. Definitely bad on both sides. But if you want to win at this game, you have to be a lot more creative. Yeah, a lot more creative. Instead of cringy dances, reenacting Kendrick Lamar videos. Like, it was just dumb. And some of the plays, like Kamala Harris had $2 billion. How more evident can it be that you guys just don't know what the fuck you're doing? How you gonna have that much money and not really materialize gains? So Wolfpack, is she right or reaching? Drop a like if you think big tech's the real puppet master. Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. Who's the puppet master, fam? And you ever notice they blame men online, but never the billionaires owning the platforms? So you say masculinity, toxic masculinity, folks, but come on. Isn't it just the online? I mean, what you see online is that there's all types of guys saying all types of things, having all types of content that they put out. It's all types of, man, there's so much content being put out every day, every hour, fam. But what does the timeline have? What does the algorithm favor? That's not the fault of all men. That's not the fault of all black men. How we're depicted, that's not our fault. And even when you blame an ex, yes, that's just Elon Musk taking advantage of what he know works. They push the needle further, but they do the same shit on Facebook. I mean, you don't know, you have no idea. I'm criticizing Democrats about black issues that I don't think they address to the full potential that really helps black people. And instead of sending that shit to black people, who I'm trying to reach, trying to educate, they send it to conservatives to build me up with conservatives. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to reach a bunch of conservative white people. I'm trying to reach black people, but I don't get to choose where my message goes. I want to wake up black Americans, say, we want something for our vote. We demand something for our vote. But that's not who they send it to. Or they send it to liberals to get them pissed off. And when I talk black, when I talk pro-black, supportive of black people, I talk about black issues, they send it to conservatives just to tick them off, just to make their heads explode. And that's not why I put it out. But that's who they send it to. Get what I'm saying? It was almost to the point where I wanted to shut down my Facebook, and I was at 200,000 followers. But it's like, what's the point? So they all do it. All platforms do it. Legitimately. They all do it. All right, next. Speaking of folks who can actually talk across differences, Congressman Burgess Owens gave one of the fewest honest moments I've seen from D.C., folks. Don't go nowhere. Here we go. We're going to bring that up. Before I do, let me remind people, if you like the show tonight, hit the like button. It don't cost a thing, fam. Just hit the like button. Let the algorithm know that this show is on and you enjoy it by commenting. Engage with the content. It helps us somehow, I don't know, but in the magical world of algorithms, it's supposed to be a good thing. All right? All right. Now let's go to Congressman Burgess Owens.
You know, I can respect a liberal. I respect Cortez. She's my buddy. I mean, she's a Marxist. She's a friendly neighborhood Marxist, as I always call her. And I say stuff to her. She'll get on one of my videos, and I'm walking off the floor of the house, and I say, hey, Cortez. And she go, hey, Burchett. And I go, I tell people, don't look at her too long. She'll steal your soul. You know, and we have that kind of relationship, and we can joke about it. And that's the trouble with what's going on in this country right now. Steve Cohen, probably as far left as you can be. You know, he's Jewish, and I try to be a Christian. We came from Tennessee together. We raised the speed limit together. You know, and we were kind of, I always joked, we'd go out to eat dinner at night because he was so far to the left and I was so far to the right, we met on the other side. But honestly, sometimes I just want to scratch his eyes out, you know. But he called my mama when my daddy died, and you can't get past that. And that is what we've lost in this thing. And we had that in Tennessee. We had a, we would fight like cats and dogs, and then we'd go cry at our, with our friends' funerals. And I just think Washington, D.C.'s past that. And I think, and people think it's changing. I don't think it's changing because it sells. The violence and the bigotry and the hatred sell. And that's why you see a lot of these, I think, maybe I'm stepping on some toes, but I'll stop. But I think you see a lot of these foreign countries, if they don't have their young people killing each other, it doesn't keep those old dirtbags in power. And that's all sides.
Very sad to hear what he just said.
Next on deck.
Yeah, man. I like this. In fact, I was surprised to hear it. I was like, okay, this is dope. This is a real moment, man. Just because you disagree with somebody's politics doesn't mean you got to hate them. Nah, I know it feels like a war sometimes, but, I don't think we're going to get anywhere. I don't think we really get anywhere when we just attack one another mercilessly, endlessly. Like, make your point. We disagree, that's fine, but it doesn't mean you got to go scorched earth with everything. And I'm trying not to be so scorched earth, but the frustration starts mounting. And I got to realize that it's not an individual. Someone hit me up. Somebody jumped in my comment section. And I go, why do we say jumped in? I mean, they actually literally do shit. They just tapped on something, right? Anyway. Somebody commented on a video where I was talking about the Democratic Party and Black American or something. That was critical of the Democrats, of course. And they made a comment. I remember when I called up to your show and you went off on me because I was saying something about white people or whatever. And I was thinking, yeah, you're probably right. I probably did go off on you. I don't remember exactly the phone call. But, so you're right. Maybe I went off on you. You probably said something I thought was being insensitive or being an asshole or trolling, and I took issue with it. I was more in belief at the time, and this had to be at least 5 years ago. So this guy is still carrying an interaction from 5 years ago on a platform he never supported, that he wasn't a member of. Right? Because he would have said, I was a member of your show and I did this and I did that and you still. He didn't say any of that. Just a random person who was able to use my phone line to call up, and for whatever he was thinking, he didn't communicate it in a way that I felt was respectful. So I let his ass have it. Now, sometimes I did that maybe over the top. But the point is, he's still carrying that. So how smart was I being by letting them have it? Probably not good. Probably shouldn't have done it, right? Because obviously, 5 years later, the guy's still talking about it. So we try to get better, right? Try to grow. Try not to be that guy just because you disagree with somebody. Even if I think they're trolling, I try to let shit go sometimes because it doesn't benefit the cause, really, whatever your cause is. Unless your cause is to be an asshole, maybe you should take a different tack. So that's what I get from this. But I think this congressperson is also speaking to the fact that the money is wrapped up into this type of back and forth type of feuding because they benefit from it. We don't really benefit from going at each other's necks. They benefit from it. The system benefits from it. The platform benefits from it. So it kind of builds on the whole AOC line. But of course, she went after Republicans instead of going after the systems themselves. It's the system itself that is set up in such a way that it rewards conflict. I put out positive content. I put out informative content. And you should see the numbers it does. But when I call out certain people, the numbers go big. Things can really swing my way. It can become a financial instrument where you're like, well, I gotta live indoors. I gotta take care of my family. I gotta put out content. But it doesn't have to be done in a way where I'm attacking people as human beings. And I think maybe that's all we can hope for. It's okay to disagree, but if we could just keep it on the topics, not the people's personal, it's people themselves. I know it's difficult, believe me. I'm having a hard time doing it. I mean, when I look at Brandon Johnson's bullshit, I hear a couple of these conservative folks that are, Brandon Johnson. When I hear Tatum, Brandon Tatum. When I hear Brandon Tatum's nonsense, I'm like, God. You know, when people are being so negative, being so anti-black for profit, it bothers me. And I think it should bother anyone, right? But it's a system built around that rewards them for taking those stances. I don't know. Respect doesn't mean agreement, it means decency. And it's not to say we need to police language, but just recognize that things have an impact. So I realized today that, hopefully I've grown a little bit from 5 years ago. And maybe roasting people that I disagreed with, even when they were calling into my platform. It's like just roasting people randomly on the internet. You called up, you said something, I said something back. I think I could have done that a better way. I could have done a better job dealing with that situation. And let's just say I'll try to in the future. You know what I'm saying? But if I feel, it's hard when I feel that people are not being genuine, when I feel that people are all on some bullshit. It's really hard to look past it and try to stay, decent. Wolfpack, do you still have friends that vote differently from you? Yeah, do you have friends that vote differently from you? Things have gotten so divisive. They say people are going crazy and we can't have relationships with people. Now that everything's so toxic between the sides that we're not getting along. So I like to know, that's an honest question. Are you still friends with people who have different political leanings? And was there ever a time politics was about issues, not enemies? Because I don't know, I think since I've been covering news, it's been this way. Since I've been covering politics, it's been toxic. It's been bloodthirst. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just wondering if anybody's been around when it wasn't. I think it's always been this way. I just think social media gives us a lot more opportunity to interact. All right, next. That humanity that he's talking about, we're losing it even in our neighborhoods. Let's go to Memphis, Johnson. Now, this is an important clip. I'm glad you stuck around for it. Folks, check this out.
With Tim Black.
My name is Braylon, and I live here in Memphis. I've been noticing not just a slight change, more of a detrimental change in how peaceful Memphis is ever since the National Guard came. There was a lot of things I couldn't do before the National Guard came because I had to worry a lot about guns and stuff. I couldn't play because I was worried that somebody might pull out a gun or something, but now I could do that, and I just wanted to thank the President of the United States for bringing the National Guard.
I saw this video, man. Damn, that hurt a little bit. That hurt a little bit because, damn. And I've been seeing a number of videos like this. People in Memphis who say life's better. And that's a shame, Johnson. It's a shame that it took National Guards. It took some people losing rights for people to get some rights. You know what I'm saying? It's not the optimal way to get peace in the streets. That you got to bring in a military force to get that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Even if you're saying, okay, the outcome's better. This child can go play, and I want this child to play. And don't get it twisted, man. It breaks my heart, man, that this kid, that little boy, can't go out and play without fear of getting shot. It just also breaks my heart that it had to come this far, it had to go this far, this extreme, to get to that point. Something that we all deserve, that we all want, that's necessary, right? To enjoy our lives. That we got to have armed like troops. I just don't, I can't imagine, we got both sides of this issue, and they're not looking at it from either point of view. Like, they only look at it from their point of view. What I'm saying is, the people that support this child don't realize that this is a horrible thing, that you had to go this far to get peace of mind for your child to play outside. You should not need an armed like regimen, right? You should not need this in order for your child to be able to play. And people not getting it, who upset that the troops came, should not get that that was needed. Obviously, because whatever you're pulling out your ass as a solution didn't get us this peace. So it's like, and why is it that when people talk, they can't look at, I am not inventing anything. I never look at myself like, Tim Black, I am the overseer. I rain down with wisdom upon the earth. Nah, man. I'm Tim Black, product of Prince George's County Public School System. Okay? I don't have as much schooling as Jasmine Crockett. But why is no one able to articulate the situation with the level of unbiased reality check that I just gave you? Why can't they, why can't you say, well, we should need tanks, but damn it, we need tanks. And what does that mean that we need tanks? And you see how shitty that is. That you need to go to that extreme. And after school program is not going to be the only thing that solves this. I wish it was. I wish all you had to do was put an after school program, and then all of a sudden kids could play outside. I wish that would be it. But if you support, okay, you want peace for this kid, for all the kids, for all the children, right? Does that make you a Trumper? Because you want that for that child. And why do you have to deduce people down to that level? Why do you got to label them that for wanting peace? And why do you got to label the other way for people who want freedom, who don't want other people hurt? So it's like, we all have valid points of view if we're being honest. The problem is people will resist looking at the other point of view. And at the end of the day, man, it's about the kids. Don't tell me how you think the world should be. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. Don't just tell me what you want it to be. Just look at it for what it is and then say, what are solutions that are going to work? Or Trump only did this because it's blue states. Are you denying that people need this shit done, that people want things done? And do you think every person who said, wow, man, things are better, is a Trump supporter? Not that many black people voted for Trump, first of all. And even if they are, who gives a shit? Are you saying they're lying? And to those people that say, we're losing rights and people are being harassed unnecessarily, that's a casualty too. And we should be able to look at that for what that is and say, you know what? If that was my son being thrown on the ground, I'd be mad as hell. If my son walks into a store and then there's an ICE raid in that store and he's like, oh my God, look at these troops, and tries to run out of that situation, he gets slammed or getting tackled on the ground, I'm not happy about that. I'm pissed off about that. And I think we all should be human beings and be able to say that. But nobody wants to say the truth. No one wants to be real. No one wants to be honest. They just want to sit in their silos. They just want to stay on their team. And I don't see how that benefits the kids. I don't see how that benefits anybody. But then again, are they out here to benefit people or to benefit themselves? I think we know the answer to that question. Would you feel safer or uneasy if troops patrolled your neighborhood? That's the question. Would you feel safer if you had troops in your neighborhood? Here's the thing. Were people feeling safe before they had troops in their neighborhood? It's not like there weren't already guns there. Next. What time is it? 2:49? Damn, I think we have to save this. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be it, Johnson. Because this next thing. Yeah, I think both of these next things are going to be so long. Yeah, I'm going to save the rest for the next show on Sunday. I got more content. It's just, I don't see a reason to keep it going here. Let's end it on a young man. Yeah. Let's end it talking about the child who says, hooray, I can play outside. Let's do that. All right, guys. Let's go to the comment section, see who came through the building tonight. I want to thank y'all for being tuned into the Tim Black Show. Someone said, I'm scared. Katrina said, I'm scared of Ma'am Donnie. I heard that. Yo. Donna. I don't know what Donna's laughing at, but it was funny to see. Yo, telling them to shoot at ICE officers. Damn. Wow, fam. Wow, wow, wow. That must have been. Tim, please don't do me, man. Not with her. That must have been AOC. That has to be AOC. Because someone says, I'm sick of her crap too. Look, when I was putting this segment together, man, I said, man, I know it's going to be people that be like, I can't listen to this shit. I can't listen to this. I said, I know people going to be like, Tim, I don't want to hear it. No, Zil, no. Don't do this. Click. Click. Yeah, all of them pull out white supremacy out of their ass, too. White supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. Yeah, all types of shit. It's just so, man, it's so redundant. It's one talking point. The blacks. Yeah. The blacks, the black people. Black people be suffering. Okay, what you gonna do for us? Oh, nothing. Nothing. Just wanted to say it to get these black people to shut up. Well, I just wanted to say it to make white people mad. To win an argument. They just say black pain and suffering just out of nowhere, just to try to back the conservatives up. What about the black people? Yeah, man. Well, look, guys. You guys are amazing. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. Keep your cornbread. That's your job. You got one job. Keep your cornbread. And if you're feeling really gracious, help a neighbor keep theirs too. And as always in my show, I gotta remind you, I got lots of reasons for doing what I do, but my main reason, fam, is a beautiful thing. Where are my ladies? I said, where are my ladies? And this isn't even all of them.